Everything on black on the first day, just lose all my money.
Better at football?
I don't know about that, like.
Erwin, just coming up to annoy everybody. Why are you so rude? Another one of my staff, I pay too much. Hello, welcome back. This is weekly episode 22. As you can see, we are in the pond. It has been lined. We've got guys here from Wales, they're cracking on. We've had a few mishaps. We've ran out of liner. There's like 15 meters short on this job. They're going to come back next week. They've got a dash down to Surrey, then Skegness, then come back here. So they're back on Tuesday. Today is Thursday, so they've got a busy schedule. We started this yesterday. We put what they call a carpet down first, which is the white geotextile. Cam will cut to one of the drone shots now. And then the guys started to lay this black plastic. This is like a tougher material that they fusion weld with a machine they're using behind us. That's what the generator's for. It melts the plastic together, obviously to make it watertight. And then we will proceed with another geotextile around the bank. And that stops people, if they slip and fall in, they can climb back out. We can layer it with topsoil and encourage a bit of growth on the bank. But overall, I'm over the moon with this job. Considering where we started as to where we are at now, it's night and day. It's been the most time consuming of this whole process, just working on with the pond and the weather, especially through the winter. And obviously I expressed how nervous I was about doing it. But to be at this point now, I'm over the moon. However, I'm behind on what schedule I set myself and we need to catch up. So the work starts now. We are tarmacking around this development next Friday and I want it to be completed by the 9th. We've still got some services to put in. We've got turf and planting to do and dress up around this pond. So there's a fair bit to crack on with. Overall, can't complain. It's been winter. We've had a storm, a red weather warning, which hindered us quite a bit. I've only ever seen a red weather warning twice. One was Storm Arwen, so I was petrified for the second one. We got away with it fairly lightly, but yeah, happy. Right, this is the 15 meter strip that we're missing. So it's basically from what we've got the outlet to take the overflow of the pond just round to this corner. However, I thought this was a great opportunity to show you the type of materials that we're using. They call this a carpet. It's a woven geotextile. It's protection for this liner. It's pretty tough, it's pretty durable. It does puncture. Now it's cost me more to do the geotextile because I've done a pond with the plastic and solely the plastic before. Then I had a hole in it. The guys that done the liner were sure it was a mouse had chewed it and it only filled up to a certain height, and this went on for months. I tried to fix it, couldn't figure out what it was, had to get them back. They sorted it straight away. As I knew there was stony ground in here, I thought we'd spend extra and do the geotextile. But we have achieved what we said in the beginning. I wanted 1.5 meters of water depth to stop the photosynthesis. We're going to get a sprinkler system, an aeration unit set up in here. Call it a sprinkler, but it's a fountain really. This job hasn't been stress-free. There's been difficulties along the way. Obviously from where we started with the vegetation and all of the slop that we had to excavate out of here. That was a bigger job than what I initially anticipated. I thought possibly 600-700 tons. We think that worked out to about 1,200. Cam's now going to cut to a video to show you what we have leveled that out to be in the field, so it gives you a scale and size of the job. We had to get a bulldozer in to do that. So we excavated all of that, dressed up the banks, got our pipes set in, and I sent Celtic Liners, who's doing the job for us, a video on WhatsApp to say, look, we're nearly ready. And he said, that looks like a disaster, that does. And I said, what? We got trees around the banking, so we had to bring in more soil to work away from them, and I didn't want to cut them down because they're oak. Some of the depths he wasn't happy with, and some of the material he thought there were sharp stones. So obviously, like I said about the carpet that we've put on the bottom, it's cost me more, but it's something that when you start you can't stop, and it's not worth cutting corners because it'll cost me in the long run. Okay, right, tarmac, the obvious expense at the end of the development. It brings it to life and sets it in stone for people to visualize where they park, how they drive in, how they access their home. We've still got to excavate this little strip of road. It covers these 3 bases. The other 4 on this development are accessed from the road that's already in there. We will be putting in double car parks. It's the 30th of January today, and our tarmacker, Alec, who Cameron now cut to a picture of, is coming in on the 7th. So the 7th is a Friday. He's going to dress up and do a final trim. Normally I would do this, but I'm good friends with him and I think he quite likes getting involved. And then he'll have a weekend break and come in Monday the 10th to do all of the tarmac. And we're going to base and top this. And like I say, we're going to do double car parks on every pitch. I used to do singles, just for one car. I learnt my lesson with that when people would ask for an extension and it starts to look like a bit of a patchwork quilt. So I'm going to do it like the full capacity from the beginning and just have no joints, keep it smooth and perfect. Right, lads, put the services in. I just wanted to catch Craig on camera as he goes to America on Monday. He's got New York, San Francisco, and then he says he's going to Vegas for the big win. So let's go and see what he said.
You're gonna spend all my money right enough. Definitely.
What tables are you going to be on?
Anything I can get my hands on, to be honest.
What do you fancy yourself so far?
I don't know, I'll be on the roulette mostly, I think.
And you said you were going to put all your money on red or black?
Nah, I put everything on black on the first day. Just lose all my money. I think that's going to be the best way. Like,
so you've got New York, San Francisco,
5 nights in Vegas at the end.
Again, another one of my staff I pay too much.
I wish.
You're 22 years old and you're going out there. I was having a holiday till I was about 25.
That's bad on there, Bob.
So yeah, the guys are putting in the services now. We've got gas, electric, communications duct that we feed the fibre to every pitch in. Foul, which is obviously the drainage.
Then the rising main.
Oh yes, sorry. We've got to rise them in. We've got to pump the sewage out of here because we couldn't get enough fall. So we've got to put a little tank in the ground, a pipe, and pump it up to one of our gravity-fed sewage outlets. So it's a bit more of a task, but it's not really that expensive and it's not that bad a job. So it didn't add up to too much. Like I say, the most expensive thing has been the pond from start to finish. When I factor in man hours, fuel, hired equipment, the liner, the hire in for the bulldozer, it's been I'm going to total all of that for you and give you a conclusion. I'll get the girls to do it in the office. So I'm back in the office. I just wanted to talk about a bit of an event I've talked about loads in this video, but Storm Eowyn, I think is how you say it. That happened last Friday. Red weather warning. There's loads of little clips of me talking about how nervous I was. We spent most of the afternoon battening down, getting as much ready for these high winds as possible. This is only the second time I've ever seen a red weather warning. I think a little bit further north to us is going to get the worst. As it was a red weather warning. We knew on like the Monday, Tuesday of that week it was like amber. I was actually meant to go away with Jodie to stay in a hotel on the Friday night. So we cancelled that just to stay here and keep an eye on things. But then by Thursday, it was a Wednesday, Thursday, it moved to a red weather warning and I really started to ramp up the nerves at that point. The only time I've ever seen a red weather warning before was Storm Arwen, and I underestimated at that time how bad it was going to be. So this time, the lead up to that, I had the guys going around just trying to tie everything down. We've got away with just having a little bit of damage, nothing serious. The odd storage boxes for customers that have been blown away, or a couple of dead trees that came down anyway. So it was actually a productive day, which just goes to show that I can't forecast. The things I'm nervous about never seem to be that bad, and the things I never think about turn out horrendous. We've nipped into the car just to come up and show you the trees that we bought last time when we were at R&B. We've planted these. Now I thought I'd overkilled the planting and it looks like we're going to need more. However, I'm really happy with the results. They'll take time to come on, but they've filled out this little area pretty well. It's not really the most exciting topic to talk about. However, it's dead satisfying to see them come on. And then I needed to fill this area out. Obviously it was annihilated in a storm, so we've planted 200. I need another 100, I think. My cousin did these for me, and he's planted them in lines. Now, I wasn't that keen on the idea, but when I'm looking at it, I can get the lawnmower in here and cut in between them a lot easier. I reckon these will be a couple of years, they'll come on really well, and we've had to screen them. I'm prone to a lot of roe deer, and they'll come in and eat the fresh shoots off these little trees, which will obviously kill them. So we've had to try and screen them, but allow them to grow. So any of the plastic liners wouldn't have really worked on this. We've had to take a bit of time, use some chicken wire, and guard them with a post as well. Okay, this is a little bit of an add-on from what you've just watched. Cameron had already edited the full video, but he was in the area today and he knew we had a pump set up. Local farmer, the Robsons from Turvey Laws and Wooler, agreed to come and give us a hand pumping water from the pond in front of the office across the road and into here. So it's just a bit of good luck that Cameron turned up. This is it's like a milestone for us on this job. Although we've just pumped like 500 ml of water into that pond, I'm not sure on how many litres it is, but to see it and actually see the visuals of what it would look like, or starting to look like, come to life, is a bit of a big thing for us, rather than just trying to imagine it. Now we can start finishing this job off. Right, we wanted to end this week's video back at the pond, and I wanted to talk about some of the costs that have been involved in this little development. Obviously had excavation work, so all of the fuel that's involved in that, with the plant hire, men's wages, the liner, and that's aside from the general construction that we've done here. So if you factored in those first things, and we think we're around 40 grand. So we needed to make a return on that and not just be money that was dead. So that's why we built the pitches. Believe it or not, the pitches aren't that expensive because we've got all the materials here. Other than the concrete, I've got the men, I've got the machines to do it, but it obviously gives us an income as a return. I really enjoy doing little developments like this because they're easy. It's quite a special little place. I'd say some of the best pitches on the park, and it's super satisfying. We set ourselves a time scale, budget, and everyone's got a focus to keep working forward. And it helps us pass the time in the winter, which is the most important thing. January and February are the most depressing months for me. The time has flown because we've been busy and we've had a schedule every day. Something else I need to say, next week we've got a special guest and a special video. I've got my mother doing a tour of the castle and talking you through the history. So please don't forget to keep an eye out for that one. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next week.